guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to make your own DIY decorative tiles. I'm going to insert a picture here for you to take a look at. These are some tiles that I bought downtown at a store called the Olfactory Company. I paid, I believe it was $9 a piece for those tiles. Well, the last time that I was down at the store, I took my friend Sarah because she was interested in purchasing some of her own, and while we were there, the owner made the big mistake of telling me how cheap and easy it is to make your own. So it got me thinking, why not try it myself and save some cash? So that's what I did. So these couple pictures that I'm going to show you are some of the tiles that I made myself, and I think they came out really good, and I think they look just as good as the tiles that I purchased at the Olfactory Company. So let's get on to what you will need. You'll have to go to a hardware store. I went to Lowe's and I went back to the flooring section and I found myself this set of tiles. Now I got lucky and only paid $5 for this because it was on clearance. You will also need some Mod Podge, and depending on the finish that you're looking for will depend on what type of Mod Podge you use. I have gloss finish here and also a matte. I find that the gloss, if you're doing black and white photos, just adds a little something extra, but I do like the matte as well. You will need some sponges, or you can use paintbrushes, whatever you like, some printable vellum paper, and some scissors or one of these guys. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and take one of the larger tiles out here. Now they're all connected because, again, this is flooring. So as you can see here, let me take them out for you. As you can see here on the back, they're connected. So it's pretty easy to get them apart. I'm just using a knife. This is one of my husband's old knives. Sometimes the mesh just peels right off the back, which is nice. Now these are stone tiles. Sometimes there's a little bit of residue on them, so you can just wipe that off. Now along the edge here, you'll still see a little bit of plastic, depending on what type of tiles you use. So I just go along the edge and cut that right off. So I've already gone ahead and printed an image. I have done so many horror tiles that I decided to do something different. So we're going to do a Christmas one. Now I have used vellum and I have used regular paper. I like the look of both of them, but for today's tile I'm going to go ahead and use the image that I printed on the vellum. Now there's a way that you can take images and adjust the sizes accordingly. These tiles are 4x4. To be honest, I'm not quite sure how you can do that. I know certain computers have programs where you can transfer an image to a program and adjust the size and whatnot. Actually, for anyone who's interested in this project and you want to know how to adjust the size of your images, ask Sarah. Ask her down in the comments below. Sarah's really good with computer stuff, whereas I am not. As a matter of fact, when we were making our own tiles, she actually had to do all that for me. So what I'm doing is just going in and trimming a little bit off so that this fits on the tile itself. So I don't mind having a little bit hanging over the edges here, as you can see. So I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of Mod Podge and I'm going to put that all over the tile. I'm going to go ahead and take that over the edges as well. And then take your image and press it on. Now don't worry if you get some wrinkling. A lot of those wrinkles will come out when you put the other layer of Mod Podge over the top. Now you should wait 15 to 20 minutes before you seal the top of this. And what I'm doing is just pressing this in. And you can see some of the wrinkles are starting to come up. You see there? Now what I'm going to do is turn this over, lay it flat, and just kind of press on it a little bit. Alright, so as you can see, there are some wrinkles in it that dried that way, which is fine. I actually kind of like the wrinkles, but like I said, when you put the top coat on, some of them smooth out so it doesn't look quite as wrinkly. So I'm going to go ahead and apply the top coat. And I actually do several top coats. I don't just do one. Alright, and then what I'm going to do is just use my fingers to smooth the edges out. Something else that you can do too that actually works really well with your fingers is you can actually age the image. And what I mean by that is you can go through certain parts of the picture, and if you just rub your finger over them, you can actually remove some of the ink. to give it sort of like an aged appearance. And I'll show you something else you can do when this is completely dry. See if you go over the edges, and it may not show up too well on this because it's not really dark. It's a little bit more on the gray side, but if you run your finger over the edge, you can see where some of the ink is coming off, and it gives a nice sort of vintage look. See there how that ink just came off when I ran my finger over it? I like to do that to the edges to make it look more flush with the stone. And I like to do this while it's wet. The stuff dries fast, it's actually kind of dried out already. Okay, so now that it is dry, there's a couple things that you can do if you want to make this look really sort of antique. You can take some sandpaper along the edges and kind of grind down some of the paper edge so that it looks more like it's part of the stone as opposed to just a piece of paper glued down. So you can take some sandpaper, take the edges down a little bit, or you have nifty little tools like this. This has a sanding edge on it. You can take that right along the edge here where the paper meets the stone and remove some of it like that. I like to take the edge down a little bit so that it doesn't look so much like a picture, if you know what I mean? I just like to make it look like it's really supposed to be on that tile, like it was really part of it. I'm going to change the tip on this. So you see how I just went along the edges here and made it look a little bit less like a picture that I pasted on there and made it look a little bit more like it's actually part of the stone. So what I'll do is I'll go over the edges with a little bit more Mod Podge to make that look glossy like the rest of it, and then that'll be it. And then one more thing that you can do, I save magnets from old notepads, as you can see, and what I'm going to do is turn this into a magnet. Make sure if you do decide to use a magnet, you get yourself a nice big magnet because these tiles are a little bit on the heavy side. Alrighty guys, so that is it for the DIY for today. I hope you guys like this. I think it came out pretty nice. Again, I happen to like the wrinkles on the image. I think it looks really nice and it kind of adds to the sort of vintage look to it. I also do everything in black and white for two reasons. Number one, because I can't put an ink cartridge in my printer. I don't have that kind of printer. And number two, I just happen to really like black and white images. But obviously, you can do whatever you want with these. Actually, if you notice in one of the pictures, and I'll put it in right here, I took some skulls and crossbones and glued them on one of the smaller tiles, and I thought it came out really nice. So anyway, that is it. You guys will have to let me know what you think of the DIY for today. If you try this and you're on Instagram, take some pictures and please tag me. I would love to see what you came up with. I wanted to show you guys that with a nice heavy-duty magnet, these tiles will stick. No problem. So that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today and watching my DIY. And don't forget, if you try this, tag me on Instagram so I can see what you came up with. All right, you guys, thanks so much for hanging out with me. Have a great day, and I will see you all again very soon. Bye.